Hi foodies, how you doing? As you know, Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas is coming up, so I wanted to inspire you guys. This meal is really delicious but so simple to prepare. Stick around and find out how we get this done. So the first thing we're going to do with this whole chicken is a spatchcock technique. So that technique is basically butterflying the chicken. So you're cutting it in half and opening it up, but one side, the breast side, is still connected. So we are going to be removing the backbone. You can start at the bottom or at the neck. Either way, the important thing is getting out that backbone. So we're going to take a sharp kitchen scissors and cut alongside it. So you cut on the right of the backbone and the left of the backbone. So I'm starting with the right. It doesn't matter which one you start with. Start with the one you're comfortable with. So you just cut along basically and go all the way down. Okay, and you can open that up, see there, and then we're going to cut on the left side of the backbone. So go in again with your kitchen scissors and cut into it. I really should have taken my gloves off, guys, because this was so tricky. It was really slippery, but I got it done. So you just keep cutting alongside and go all the way down the back until you get that piece out. All right. So take that piece out. You can put it back in the freezer for soup or for broth or for stock. Do not throw it away. You can even add it to a stew. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's still good chicken. So you just open this up and you can rinse it with some lime juice, clean up what you need to clean up, and then we are going to flatten the chicken even more. Okay, so you go right there, right in the center, and just make a cut right. You don't cut through all the way through, because remember you want the breast to still be intact. So just cut through there, and then the breastbone, you can push it up. So see what I did there? Just pull it all the way up and don't remove it. Let it stay there. This just helps to flatten the chicken even more. And the main reason we want to do this technique, guys, is because when the chicken is flattened like this technique just helps the chicken cook more evenly. So the breast won't dry out before the thigh cooks. Everything will cook evenly. That's why I like this technique. Okay, so you can leave it as is, or you can tuck the wingtips behind the breast so that it doesn't burn during cooking. But you're basically done spatchcocking the chicken. All right, then we are going to pat dry the chicken and move on to our other steps. So after pat drying this, I'm going to show you something that can be done. It's just a technique that helps the chicken skin get really crispy. At this point, you could go ahead and season the chicken the way you desire, but one trick for getting the skin really crispy is salting the chicken skin. So I salted the underside, and now I'm gonna be sprinkling some salt on top of the skin. So rub in some salt, and it's actually best to let this sit in the fridge open with no cover overnight. What that does is it dries out the skin, really dries out the skin, and that makes your chicken have a nice crispy coat once it's baked. You don't have to, but just want to let you guys know. Okay guys, so I didn't have the time to do it overnight, so I just did it for like 35 minutes, and now I'm gonna make that herbed butter to flavor the chicken. So we have softened butter here, and I'm gonna be adding some really beautiful flavors to this. Now guys, I'm making a herb butter that I'm going to spread all over the chicken, but you also have the option of rubbing the butter all over the chicken and then sprinkling these things all over. So you have options, guys, but you know, I wanted to show you this way. Now guys, aside from smearing the butter all over the chicken, you are gonna be putting it under the skin as well. Okay, so you are going to gently lift some areas of the chicken, for example right here, and just push the butter underneath, because that's gonna melt and add flavor as well as make it nice and tender. There's also another trick here. You could also use hardened pieces of butter, but you have the herb butter, so might as well use it. Okay, so once you got that butter smeared all over, you can add some more seasoning. I mean, sprinkle over if you want to, or you can leave it as is. And I tuck the wing behind the breast because honestly that just helps a little bit to prevent it from burning. It's still gonna cook super fast because it's so thin, but that does help. So this is the underside, guys. So the breast is down because we want to finish off with the breast. So I put all that butter all over, and then I'm gonna sprinkle with a little more seasoning all over. So guys, how I'm gonna be doing this is I'm gonna be baking it with the breast down first, and then we're gonna flip it and finish off the cooking with the breast up. You have the option of doing it this way, or you could just put it in the oven with the breast up and bake it for the whole time that way. All right, now let's take a look at our sweet potato. This sugar and spice sweet potato is so easy, guys. Get the sweet potatoes, peel them, then you can cut them lengthwise or crosswise, and then into some cubes just like this. Really simple. Then we are going to make something really flavorful, kind of a marinade for them. So the good thing about this dish is that you can use the oven for the chicken, and then when the chicken is almost done, you can put the sweet potato in the oven to cook. Now guys, as I do tell you, sometimes I eyeball when I'm making these things. Sometimes I don't measure. So I always have my standard recipe, which is what I share with you guys. So the quantity that you're supposed to use is usually in the video or in the description box below. All right. So let's set this aside and take a look at our chicken, taking it out of the oven right now. There we are, guys. Really nice, and it's gonna be a golden color. Remember, we didn't use, you know, the usual browning and soy sauce and that kind of stuff, so it's gonna be a nice golden color. So we're done with this side. We need to flip it and finish off with the breast up. Okay, so flipping this, it's just based on your comfort level. You can use the egg lifter and that pair of tongs like I'm gonna be doing, or you could just use a kitchen towel and just hold it and flip it over. Okay, so that flavor is soaked inside that chicken. Now we need to take care of the top. Okay, so I know it looks pale, but just remember that this is roasted chicken, so we are gonna get a beautiful finish. And don't worry about the lines, those are gonna be gone too. All right, so what we're gonna do is that leftover flavored butter, that herbed butter we made, we are gonna smear some more all over the skin. And if you want to sprinkle some more seasoning on top, you can, and then put it back in the oven. So just use a spoon or use a brush, whatever you're comfortable with. And remember, the chicken is hot, so when you smear this all over, it's basically gonna start to melt. So you don't need to melt it in the microwave before you do this. So back into the oven with the chicken, and then let's take care of the sweet potato. So remember, it was diced earlier, so that marinade we made, we are going to toss it with the potato. And sweet potato is naturally sweet, but this sugar and spice marinade just really makes it even more scrumptious. It's so good, and this is easy, guys. I'm putting it on a foil wrap on top of a cookie sheet or baking tray, and then it's just gonna go in the oven and finish up along with the chicken, because remember, the chicken is in the oven right now. Okay, so you're getting to use the oven for more than one thing instead of just the chicken. So you want to make sure you spread out every piece of potato, guys. Make sure they're not on top of each other because you want them to cook evenly. Okay, so spread them out, and we're going to put them in the oven. Alright, guys, look at this beautiful chicken. And the skin is really crispy, guys. Really nice. But the inside, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so juicy. Now, if you feel like you want the chicken to be even browner, you can always turn on the broiler, you know, in the end to get it a little more brown, but just be careful so that it doesn't burn. This is supposed to be nice and golden brown. So for our other dish, we're gonna be making some really simple pan-cooked string beans. So these are the French beans, and they're a little bit skinnier than a regular string bean, so we don't have to, you know, do a quick boil on this before. We can just do everything in the pan. Okay, if you can't find French beans, then use regular string beans. It's just that they take a little longer to cook. That's the only difference. All right, and I mean, in the appearance, these are usually a little bit skinnier. So I just washed these, and you want to wash them properly and trim them if they need trimming. Sometimes when you buy the one in the package, it's already trimmed, so you don't have to trim the tops. Okay, so just wash and drain, and let's check on the sweet potatoes. Look at that, beautiful. And the smell is really nice, guys. You're gonna love it. It's kind of like a holiday smell because of the spices that were used. And so check for the biggest one. Find the biggest piece you can and just prick it with the fork, and if it is tender, then that means all the other pieces are perfectly cooked. See, the fork goes right through, so you want them to be tender but firm on the outside. All right, now we're going to do the string beans. So all we're going to be doing is really sauteing them in a pan, and then we're going to cover the pan and allow them to steam. If you get some really skinny, tiny French beans, you might not even need to steam them. You could probably just keep tossing them in the pan until they are cooked. Now for the beans, make sure that they still have some crunch, some bite to them. You don't want them to be soggy and limp. You still want them to be green and firm. Okay, so that's what you're aiming for with this. I'll cover these just to get, you know, a little bit of steam in there because these were super duper firm. So I'll cover them just for a little bit, and then look at this, guys. Look at that, really beautiful. You could serve this up however you want. You could cut it up, but it's nice to present the whole chicken, especially if you're having like a family dinner. It can be used as a centerpiece or one of, you know, those things that attract people to the table. So you can do it up like this, or you could put all the veggies around it. It's your choice, but this is so good, guys. Really, really nice and simple. This could be a part of your spread, or if you want just a simple Thanksgiving or holiday dinner, this could be it. You could probably put some raw vegetable on the side, you know, a little salad. But this is really good, so simple and tasty. I'm just gonna cut into this just to show you guys. So the knife is gonna go through really easily, and you'll see how juicy the meat is. I know some people say they don't want breast, they prefer to eat dark meat because breast is always dry, but if you look at this, guys, I don't know if you can see it, but it's super juicy, it's tender, the skin is crispy, and honestly, look at that. It's glossy because all of those natural juices along with the butter is doing wonders for this chicken. So whatever you like, you could do it for that dinner. You could cut all the pieces off, or you could carve it at the table. It's whatever you like. Just make sure you're cooking it really nicely, and everybody will be satisfied. It's so tasty, guys. I know you're gonna like it. Try the recipe and let me know if it's something you would cook for your holiday dinner. Thanks again for watching, and take care.